Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, a new Knesset bill threatens to sue the European Union for its support of illegal Palestinian structures on lands under Israeli administrative control. A diplomatic initiative by the International Christian Embassy Jerusalem may bring about a so-called flood of Bibles to the offices of the United Nations World Heritage Body, UNESCO, in the next few days. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov says the efforts for a political solution in Syria are being sabotaged by support of so-called extremists seeking to topple Syrian President Bashar Assad. After Israel waged a diplomatic battle against international institutions on the issue of Jerusalem, including UNESCO, in the past weeks, a new bill was submitted which threatens to sue the European Union for its support of illegal Palestinian construction under Israeli law in the enveloping Jerusalem area. The bill, sponsored by Knesset member Oded Forer from the Israel Beitenu faction, that received bipartisan support, seeks to determine that illegal construction by the European Union on behalf of Palestinians will be excluded from the immunity enjoyed by the EU in its activity in Israel and the West Bank, and will make it liable to legal proceedings. The construction in question, which is fully funded by the European Union, is located on Route 1 near the West Bank settlement of Ma'ale Adumim. It was erected without the consent of Israel on lands under Israeli administrative and security control. The European Union's mission in Israel told TV7 that they had no immediate comment as they are examining the bill. In other news, a diplomatic initiative by the International Christian Embassy Jerusalem may bring about a so-called flood of Bibles to the offices of the United Nations World Heritage Body, UNESCO, in the next few days. The initiative comes in response to UNESCO's resolution that denied any Jewish or Christian connection to the Temple Mount in Jerusalem by referring to the site where both biblical temples once stood only by its Muslim names. ICEJ spokesman David Parson told TV7 that the Christian Embassy Jerusalem has called on Christians around the world to send Bibles to the UNESCO offices in Paris to remind them of the irrefutable history of the site. He noted that hundreds of Bibles have already been posted to UNESCO, with many of its references to Jerusalem and the Temple highlighted, and thousands more are expected to arrive in the coming weeks. ICEJ's executive director, Dr. Jürgen Buhler, released a statement on the initiative, saying most of us view these diplomats as being principled and well-educated, but apparently some of them forgot their history lessons, and we're sending them Bibles to refresh their memory. Jerusalem is mentioned by name more than 1,000 times in the Hebrew and Christian scriptures, while the Temple Mount appears hundreds of times as well. Now to another matter, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met representatives from China's National Development and Reform Commission as part of a scheduled three-day summit that saw more than 200 Chinese officials and businessmen arrive in the Jewish state for strategic dialogue with local businesses, entrepreneurs, and government officials. During their meeting, Prime Minister Netanyahu said he places great importance on developing Israel's commercial ties with China, referring to the bilateral relations between the two countries, a winning combination. Netanyahu declared that the future belongs to those who innovate, and the ever-developing business dialogue between Jerusalem and Beijing will significantly influence the growth of both respective economies. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also met with the Governor General of Canada, David Johnston, during the latter's state visit to Israel as part of a Middle East tour aimed at enhancing bilateral relations and to discuss regional challenges.
This is a pleasure not only to see you again, but to see you here, and also to see you here on the occasion of where we're signing agreements and moving towards innovation. This is where the future is. The future belongs to those countries who innovate, and Canada and Israel are right there, and we can innovate a lot more together.
During the meeting, Israeli and Canadian officials signed a number of joint declarations in the fields of science and technology. Johnston, who arrived in Israel from Jordan, where he met with King Abdullah, is scheduled also to visit later this week the West Bank city of Ramallah for meetings with Palestinian leaders. Now to the ongoing conflict in Israel's northern neighbor, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that efforts for a political solution in Syria were being sabotaged by support of whom he referred to as extremists seeking to topple Syrian President Bashar Assad.
К огромному сожалению, самая главная задача начала без промедления политического процесса саботируется теми, кто, по сути дела, в нарушении резолюции Совета Безопасности всячески потакает экстремистам, которые не хотят переговоров, а хотят просто свергнуть режим Башара Асада.
The Russian top diplomat, during a meeting with Greek leaders in Athens, took the opportunity to accuse the United States of repeatedly backing down from peace efforts in Syria's embattled city of Aleppo.
Мы стремимся уже несколько месяцев решить проблемы в городе Алеппо. Были соответствующие российско-американские договоренности. К сожалению, США, как только эти договоренности были согласованы, из них, по сути дела, вышли.
Since the 18th of October, Russia and its Syrian allies said they had halted airstrikes in Aleppo. Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned, however, that its continuation depended on the behavior of moderate rebel groups in Aleppo and their Western backers. The warning by the Russian leader has materialized yesterday with the resumption of 2 Russian aerial sorties in the western Aleppo neighborhoods of Minan, Rashdin, and Han al-Assal. The resumption in airstrikes by Moscow and Damascus came as rebel groups and jihadist factions opened a new front in Aleppo in a bid to break the government's siege of the opposition-held eastern part of the city. Rebel groups, including Jabhat Fatah al-Sham, an al-Qaeda affiliate previously known as the Nusra Front, and groups fighting under the Free Syrian Army banner, are battling government forces for control of the western Aleppo neighborhood of Minan. Meanwhile, Russia's defense ministry released a statement in which it informed rebel groups that they had until Friday evening to surrender and leave Aleppo or face devastating consequences. Now to another regional matter, Islamic State leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi released a recorded statement that was obtained by TV7 in which he expressed confidence in victory in his first message after US-backed Iraqi forces started an offensive to recapture the city of Mosul, the last major stronghold under the control of the extreme Muslim group in Iraq. In his statement, al-Baghdadi called on Islamic State fighters and supporters to invade Turkey in response to Ankara's declaration of war on the extreme Muslim group.
أيها الموحدون، لقد دخلت تركيا اليوم في دائرة عملكم ومشروع جهادكم، فاستعينوا بالله واغزوها، واجعلوا أمنها فزعا ورخاءها هلعا، ثم أدرجوها في مناطق صراعكم الملتهبة. ويا أجناد الخلافة في أرض الشام، ها قد جاءكم الجندي التركي الكافر، وإنما دم أحدهم كدم الكلب خسة ورداءة.
Baghdadi also called on his followers to launch attack after attack in Saudi Arabia, targeting security forces, government officials, members of the ruling Al Saud family, and media outlets for siding with the international community against Islam and the Sunni Muslims in Iraq and Syria. Thank you for watching us. You can also watch us at TV7israelnews.com or TV7.fi. For any comments, please send your emails to israelnews@tv7.fi. For more updates from Israel and the region, please join our Facebook page at TV7 Israel News. Praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. I'm Jonathan Hassan. Have an Erev Tov, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.
In order to donate to TV7 Israel News, please follow these simple steps. First, press the Donate logo, located at the bottom left side of TV7 Israel News Facebook page, or on the Donate tab at the head of the page. Then insert the amount you'd like to donate, and fill in your credit card information. Just like this. And press Review Donation and continue. After reviewing your donation details, please press Donate to finalize your donation. That's it! Your donation is now complete, and an email with your donation details has been sent to your email address. You can also print your donation receipt by pressing the link here. Thank you for supporting TV7 Israel News.